The PlayStation 5 lineup in 2026 is starting to take shape, with a mix of major exclusives, long-awaited sequels, and ambitious new projects. From cinematic action games to large-scale RPGs, the variety and scale continue to grow. Let's get into it. Darwin's Paradox is an action-adventure platformer where an octopus named Darwin is trapped inside a large industrial complex and must use abilities like swimming, camouflage, climbing, and infiltration to move past machines, hazards, and hostile creatures. The gameplay combines platforming with puzzle solving, requiring precise movement, hiding, and interaction with the environment to clear obstacles, avoid traps, and progress through connected areas filled with dangers and strange encounters.
Humanity can seem insignificant.
Starfield is a role-playing game set in space, where players create a character and take part in missions across more than 1,000 planets, interacting with factions, characters, and different locations. Gameplay includes ship piloting, space combat, and boarding enemy vessels, along with on-foot combat using customizable weapons. Players can gather resources, craft items, build outposts, and manage crews with systems that support character customization, progression, and different play styles across large interconnected areas.
Do not attempt combat with us. You will not survive.
Shields up! Take him down!
Ha-ha! This is gonna be fun!
A pilot is only as capable as their starship. A ship only as useful as its crew. Together, you will find your place in the galaxy. But beware, others are claiming theirs.
Humans of the settled systems, you have forgotten who you are. We shall remind you.
There is no use resisting. Destroying hostile.
They got the crash drive!
Annihilating.
We are the Terran Armada, and none shall stand in our way.
Mouse PI for Hire is a first-person shooter where players control Detective Jack Pepper, taking on cases across a crime-filled city while fighting gangs and enemies using a wide range of weapons and power-ups. Gameplay includes fast movement with abilities like wall running, grappling, and double jumping, combined with shooting mechanics and boss encounters. Players move through multiple levels, collect items, uncover clues, and use different tools and upgrades to progress through interconnected areas.
No enemy gets through the gate!
Yeah, I jinxed it, didn't I?
Dance with me!
What? Steve, even for you, this is a bit much.
Pragmata is a science fiction action-adventure where players control Hugh and an android named Diana as they move through a lunar research station, using a combination of combat and hacking systems to deal with threats and obstacles. Gameplay involves coordinating both characters, where hacking mechanics interact with enemies and the environment, while combat requires timing and positioning, creating a system that combines action with puzzle-like interactions during encounters and movement.
What the hell is going on here? And why are these things trying to kill us?
While I was preparing to depart for Earth, the moonquake struck, damaging Edis.
Enacting attack protocol. Permission to commit acts of controlled violence granted.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm calling it. You'd make a lousy friend. We'll shut Edis down, and then we'll head to Earth.
Let's do our best.
I decide my own way. And I'm going to Earth with you.
We're a team, right?
A whole new life. If you're ready.
Okay, then let's go. Together.
I'm gonna get a better look.
Hello. We are Cabin, your one-stop companion for all things shelter.
You thought you could stay hidden up there.
Hi, Tides of Tomorrow is a narrative adventure where players act as a tidewalker in a flooded world, making decisions that directly affect both their own progression and the paths of other players through an online story link system. Gameplay includes interacting with characters, managing resources while traveling across floating areas, and observing echoes of previous players' actions, with missions and events changing based on selected story links and the outcomes left behind by others.
Fully offline, following pre-made story links.
Could you use your visions to see where he went? Tidewalkers have visions. You guys can't stop bragging about it.
You'll track visions of that player's past and discover what happened to them.
Take the ocean. We're leaving now.
The choices they made have major consequences on the world.
Your little friend broke into the slaughterhouse and stole from me.
Of course, you're shaping your own story, but you're also leaving a mark for future players.
Now, Tidy! Free the matriarch!
Pre-order now on consoles to get the Delta Agent Pack with exclusive skins for you and your boat. You'll support the devs and look cool doing it. Tides of Tomorrow is a true passion project from a small, dedicated team.
You think you've lost everything, and yet there is so.
Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred is an expansion for Diablo 4 that adds a new campaign centered on confronting Mephisto. It introduces two new classes, the Paladin and Warlock, each with distinct combat abilities and playstyles. Gameplay continues the isometric action RPG structure with combat, loot collection, and character builds. It also adds a new region to explore. Systems such as skills, crafting, and endgame activities receive updates, including new progression options and combat challenges against large enemy groups.
thing for the rich.
Saros is a third-person action game where players control Arjun Devraj while investigating a lost colony on the planet Carcosa. The gameplay combines shooting, bullet hell encounters, and roguelike systems with repeated runs and progression. Players use a shield to block and absorb projectiles, then convert that energy into powerful attacks. Resources and upgrades carry over between runs, improving weapons and suit abilities. Exploration includes collecting holograms that reveal details about the colony and its past events.
The sun is forever.
Mixtape is a narrative adventure where players control 3 friends during their final night together, moving through a series of memory-based sequences connected by music. Gameplay includes short interactive segments such as skateboarding, taking photos, playing sports, and performing small activities tied to different moments. Each segment presents a self-contained scenario, with progression built around switching between scenes and interacting with environments to relive key events from their shared past.
Right behind me! Open the fucking door!
Directive 8020 is a cinematic sci-fi horror game where players control members crashed colony ship crew trying to survive on a distant planet while facing a shape-shifting alien threat. Gameplay involves making decisions that change events and character outcomes, alongside stealth, quick reactions, and use of limited weapons to avoid or confront danger. Players manage different crew members, deal with trust issues, and progress through branching scenarios that lead to multiple possible endings.
Goddamn step.
It's me, please!
Better be a fucking alien.
Leave me out here, please!
The question is, what are you going to do about it?
This video is not authorized for duplication, resale, or evidence in a court of law. So you want to be a hench person?
LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is an action-adventure where players control Batman and other characters while dealing with crimes across an open Gotham City. Gameplay includes combat with combos, stealth actions, and detective mechanics to handle different situations. Players can move through the city using grappling, gliding, and vehicles like the Batmobile while completing missions, facing various villains, and interacting with locations, side activities, and unlockable content spread across the map.
So suit up and show off that squad spirit. Remember, matching thugs are intimidating thugs. Next, buddy up with a brute. Crime is scary when you're solo, so become pals with the brute. They bring that extra special sauce known as the boom. You'll want them by your side when the heat turns up, especially because you've got to beware the Bat. Yes, the Bat Vigilante is real, and he is anti-thug. He may look like one of us with his themed costume and broody disposition, but he's extremely dangerous. So keep the following tips in mind when you see that signal in the sky. First, stay alert. Batman is sneaky. He loves creeping up on unsuspecting thugs with a well-timed stealth takedown, so keep your head on a swivel. Next, accessorize. Punches and kicks won't cut it, so grab a nearby sword, a trusty baton, or even an oversized shield to keep the bat at bay. But fair warning, Batman's gadgets will be cooler than yours, just accept it, which is why it's so important to roll with the punches. Without the proper form, you'll take blows like this, or this, or this. So when Batman hits you, be sure to fall backwards immediately. Then, act dazed and confused. If you're lucky, Batman will just move on to someone else. But the pain won't last forever, especially because Being a Gotham City henchperson comes with a wealth of perks. You'll not only share in your boss's stolen loot and cash, but you'll also get free admission to the coolest club in town, the Iceberg Lounge. But wait, there's more. Don't forget our excellent health and dental plan. The facilities and staff may not be board certified, but their care is guaranteed to put a smile on your face. So welcome aboard, and we'll know you'll go far. Well, as far as Batman can throw you, that is. For more information on the Bureau of Henchperson Services, contact... Oh no, it's the Bat!
Where is he?
How did he find that hideout? In my shield. Oh, I can't see in this mask! Ah!
Brace yourself! Bond is immature and reckless.
007 First Light is an action-adventure where players control a young James Bond during his early time in MI6 training, completing missions that involve stealth, combat, and use of gadgets. Gameplay allows different approaches, including silent infiltration, direct fights, or using tools to bypass enemies and obstacles. Missions take place across varied locations, with objectives tied to tracking targets, driving vehicles, and interacting with environments while progressing through a structured story.
Need I state the obvious? He is not ready.
James, the service is over.
You're a rare breed, Bond. I should be interested to see what you do next.
009 will employ every manner of subterfuge to avoid capture.
Try not to draw attention to yourself.
Me? Housekeeping, I presume?
You seem the kind of guy who knows what he likes.
So you won't do anything stupid?
Of course not. I'm not an idiot.
Agents have very short life expectancy. And if you do get caught, we will deny ever having heard of you. How does that sound?
When do I start?
Dead or Alive 6 Last Round is a fighting game featuring a roster of 29 characters, including additional fighters such as Naotengu, Phase 4, Tamaki, Momiji, and Rachel. Gameplay centers on one-on-one battles using character-specific moves, combos, and counter systems. It includes a photo mode with pose and camera controls, along with updated visuals and new costumes. A free-to-play Core Fighters version provides limited character access, while existing data and items can be carried over. Ratatan is a rhythm-action roguelike where players control characters in side-scrolling stages by inputting commands in time with music to direct units during combat. Gameplay involves managing positioning, issuing rhythm-based actions, and reacting to enemy patterns while progressing through runs that reset after defeat. It supports online co-op with up to 4 players, includes multiple characters, weapons, and abilities, and features large-scale battles with many units moving and attacking at once. Beast of Reincarnation is an action RPG where players control Emma alongside her dog companion, Ku, combining real-time combat with turn-based elements during encounters. Gameplay involves coordinating attacks between both characters, using sword abilities and command-based actions to deal with enemies and bosses. Players can customize builds through skill trees, gear, and items while moving through a post-apocalyptic setting and gaining abilities from defeated enemies to strengthen combat options.
Congratulations, citizens of planet Earth!
Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is a 2.5D fighting game built around 4v4 tag team battles, where players control teams that share a single health bar and switch fighters during matches. Gameplay includes fast-paced combat, assist actions through a dedicated button, and character-specific abilities such as gauges, transformations, and counters. Each fighter has unique skills that affect strategy, while modes include a story presented through motion comic sequences and matches across theme stages.
Thanks for giving me the chance, Spidey. You're up against the defender of Jersey City herself.
Look out! Equip! Mr. Spaceman! Boom! Legendary outlaws on the scene. Rocket boots, kick it! Hip, yeah! Nothing like a barbecue. Let's tag team.
Kapow! Say hi! Who is this person with the amazing robot? Konnichiwa! I'm Penny Parker.
Penny? She's from another universe.
Spider and I are a super fighting team. Gadget launcher!
Can we do this?
Oh, you're the Star guy.
It's Star-Lord. Come in, Milano!
Are we in space?
Your chance to shine, kiddo.
This'll do it. Come on, everyone.
I'm in orbit, Quill. Too easy. Bam!
Big Sis coming in. Spider, activate.
With great power comes a great beatdown.
Together, we can achieve anything.
Huh.
One more thing I must do. One last punishment I must endure.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is a compilation that includes Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, along with bonus content and additional materials. Gameplay across these titles centers on stealth-based missions, where players avoid detection, use gadgets, and engage in tactical combat when needed. It also includes cooperative elements in Peace Walker, along with extra features such as digital books and a soundtrack collection.
When all of this is over, you'll have no choice but to accept death.
This is my final mission.
So began the war between Zero and Big Boss.
Do you understand, Snake? Any means necessary. Just stop Liquid's insurrection.
Liquid!
Guns of the Patriots!
Because I knew where my loyalty belonged. Nukes. They're bringing nukes into Costa Rica.
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Please, you must drive them out of our defenseless country. As our deterrent.
Yes. It simply said Jack. Over and over.
Awesome.
Halloween is an asymmetrical horror game where players take the role of Michael Myers or survivors in 1v4 matches set in a suburban town. Gameplay involves stealth, tracking, and eliminating targets as Myers, using abilities to move through shadows and avoid detection. Survivors gather tools, alert others, and coordinate escapes while managing NPCs and calling authorities. It also includes a single-player mode that lets players control Myers during key events from the story.
Halloween provides familiar elements fans of the genre know and love, but we're incredibly excited to pull back the curtain and unveil more details that demonstrate our commitment to delivering our most robust, dynamic, and terrifying multiplayer offering yet. Michael Myers is a creeping, methodical killer, and on Halloween night, Haddonfield becomes his hunting ground. The boogeyman's primary desire is to eliminate every living resident in this quiet town, but he also begins each match with a list of special targets that supply greater rewards if killed before time expires. These unfortunate residents are positioned across various sites in the map, and Michael players are empowered to use their nightmare suite of abilities to locate, terrorize, and ultimately execute their victims and anyone bold enough to interfere with their bloodthirsty ambitions. Killer Sense allows players to step behind the mask and stalk the residents of Haddonfield. When using this skill and entering the first-person perspective, Michael becomes aggressively aware of his surroundings and the proximity of potential prey. By focusing on targets with murderous intent, Michael builds varying levels of stalk, which aid him in identifying and tracking targets and open increasingly satisfying options for executions. An effective killer always keeps their victims unaware of their presence until those final fatal moments. While historically Michael Myers isn't known for his speed, fundamental abilities like shape jump amplify the shape's mobility with hauntingly unpredictable results. In shape jump, Michael slips into the shadows to move around environments unseen. Not only does this increase Michael's base movement speed, but it also provides access to other powerful traversal options, including Shape Dash, which sends Michael lunging forward with violent momentum. Shape Jump is confidently one of the most powerful tools at Michael's disposal, and supplies unlimited possibilities for iconic jump scare moments.
Stay cool.
However, that potency comes with a few major caveats. Our masked antagonist can only enter and exit Shape Jump while in the cover of darkness or outside a resident's line of sight. The light may provide temporary reprieve for the residents of Haddonfield, but Michael can work to remove sources of illumination by shutting off lights, cutting power, and even catalyzing temporary blackouts.
Oh God!
Despite the unquestionable malevolence of Michael Myers, his horrifying homecoming to Haddonfield won't be welcomed without resistance. As the body count climbs and evidence of the boogeyman's presence becomes undeniable, local authorities, residents, and distinct playable civilians may decide to gather weapons and face off against evil itself. Thankfully, Michael knows his way around sharp objects and will have multiple options for melee combat encounters. And if especially persistent Haddonfieldites do manage to get the upper hand in an exchange, don't worry.
How the hell? It's not possible.
We've said it once, and we'll say it again. You can't kill the boogeyman. While Michael swiftly endeavors to turn Haddonfield into a graveyard, our heroic group of civilian characters desperately attempts to save their neighbors and escape the boogeyman's bloodthirst. As a civilian, it's up to you to find fellow Haddonfield residents, convince them of his malicious intent, and guide them safely to one of several possible randomized escapes located around the map before they meet an untimely end. This distinctive cast of playable civilian characters each comes equipped with unique stats, special traits, and signature personalities. To ensure no two matches of Halloween play out the same, our team has constructed a vast playground of possibilities in Haddonfield, offering civilians a multitude of diverse gameplay systems to aid them in achieving their objectives and surviving the night. As civilians navigate these environments, they'll uncover points of interest, revealing resident NPCs, lootable containers, hiding places, telephones, possible escape routes, and more. Thoroughly and cautiously exploring your surroundings could very well mean the difference between life and death. And when death comes to your little town, it's probably not a bad idea to head to your neighbors and contact the local authorities. Civilians are tasked with tracking down surviving residents and warning them of the looming threat. Successful conversations with residents can permit civilians to request additional calls to police, commands to find secure hiding places, or companionship as they navigate the formerly peaceful streets of Haddonfield.
Should we stick together? Maybe we're better as a team.
Whether it's a local family friend or the authorities, there's safety in numbers. Once the innocent residents of Haddonfield have been located and persuaded, it's time for the civilians to plan their harrowing escape. Lootable containers scattered throughout the map contain weapons, distractions, and key items that can be used to unlock and access a variety of possible escape routes. The location of these items and escapes changes from match to match, so civilians greatly benefit from adjusting their strategies based on the objects uncovered. It's also worth noting that initiating these escape sequences generates a tremendous amount of noise, which will alert Michael to your exact location. So what happens in the likely event that a civilian becomes another display of Michael's wretched, inhumane nature? Well, their Haddonfield story isn't over just yet. Even in death, they can support their friends and even return as a sheriff's deputy or the unrelenting Dr. Loomis. Once they've re-emerged upon the streets of Haddonfield, they can cooperate with the remaining civilians and responding officers to try and put a stop to Michael's murderous rampage.
Freeze where you are, Michael. You're coming with me.
While he can't be killed, with enough community resistance, the proper equipment, and sheer manpower, he can be detained and shipped back to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Halloween is a legendary film with a genre-defining legacy, and our mission has been to bring the film's unsettling sense of dread to our asymmetrical horror sandbox. By empowering players to control the tension and stage the scares, we're building a multiplayer experience designed with replayability at the forefront. We'll have more details to share regarding character progression, character traits, customization, proximity chat, and more thrilling gameplay features in the coming months. But we can't wait for all of you to join us when Halloween launches on September 8th, 2026.
Phantom Blade Zero is an action RPG where players control a warrior named Soul, using fast melee combat and weapon-based techniques to defeat enemies and bosses. Gameplay includes combining different weapons and abilities to create varied combat styles, along with learning enemy patterns and timing attacks carefully. Players gain new weapons and skills from defeated foes, while progressing through interconnected areas and uncovering details tied to a larger conspiracy.
Near that place, at least not anymore. But you, if my dark misfortune.
I knew it. You'd never break so easily. But why did you come back?
The Order's blades are coming. They failed once, but they won't fail again.
Please, take it. Save our people. The girl's nothing but a shell now. She'll never be the same.
You broke my blade. But we broke your spirit!
Phantom is movement, striking from where none expect. Blade is breath. We channel it into steel
turning any blade into a divine weapon. When Phantom and Blade unite, no enemy stands.
Who are you?
Been fighting longer than I can remember.
Marvel's Wolverine is an action-adventure where players control Logan using close-range combat with claws, fast movement, and healing abilities to fight enemies. Gameplay focuses on aggressive melee attacks, reacting to enemy patterns, and moving through connected areas while taking on different threats. Players encounter various characters and enemies, with combat and progression tied to abilities, upgrades, and interactions that shape how encounters are handled.
But I'd be lying. Doesn't matter where I go. How far I run. Death's always waiting. Just not for me. I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is an action-adventure game set in the fictional state of Leonida, where players control Jason and Lucia across a large open area that includes Vice City and surrounding regions. Gameplay includes driving, shooting, and completing missions tied to criminal activities, with freedom to move across cities, rural zones, and different locations. Players interact with various characters, take on tasks, and progress through events connected to a wider conspiracy involving both protagonists.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I seen you here before.
You might have. Hey.
Hey.
Hands above your head, now!
You, stay. The new beginnings.
You ripping news, isn't it? Trust me, this place is just the start for us.
Ring the bell! Shot for me!
The only thing that matters is who you know and what you got.
Gotta do this. We're doing it right.
Yo, D, this full effect? They got your name, address, they got everything. Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
Like, back.
You and me, Lou. You got this.
We got it.
Say Vice City, baby! Vice City!
Go
Welcome to Bill's Ammunition today. We got more guns than the law allows.
Hey.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me up, please?